Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Selamun aleyküm. Allah'ın selamı, rahmet.
May the mercy of God be upon you. I would like to welcome you all today who have come from all over the world. And I would like to thank the organizers of this conference, to the UNIW, distinguished president of the UNIW, and distinguished president of the Global Organization Against Racial Discrimination and Segregation, and its members. And I would like to also thank the participants who will attend the panel today. Distinguished guests, the case of Palestine has been going on for the past 70 years. And it is a problem that is related to the Middle East, the international powers, the Jewish world, the Islamic world. And it has been a problem for all these parties. The Jerusalem is the oldest city that was founded in 73-48, and it has become the place for combat because of its characteristics. In the first Isra of the Quran Karim, it says, one night, in order to show him the certain ayats, we went to the Masjid al-Aqsa. And Jerusalem, the sacred city, has always been important. And the Jewish people, in order to reconstruct the mosque of the Prophet, the temple, and has has found the Musalla thanks to the help of the Archbishop also. It is an important place where Jesus Christ rose to heaven, and where he was crucified, and also it is also important for the Islamic world. So it is actually the place that he rose to heaven. So it is a sacred place for the Islamic world and the Christianity. So it is impossible for us to give up on Jerusalem and to destroy it. The Süleyman Ali temple must be reconstructed, and the Kubet al-Sahra and the Masjid al-Sahra are places that are trying to be destroyed, and they are actually the places that prove the discrimination that is done by the Israelis. I would like to recite the Quran on this issue. I would like to recite certain surahs on this issue. Isra Surah says, and the 4th verse says, God
Biz kitapta İsrailoğullarına
orders,
şöyle bildirmiştik.
and he says, we have said to Jewish people,
Çok böbürleneceksiniz.
you are going to be proud beings in the
bu iki
world,
fesattan ilkinin
and
zamanı
you will have
gelince
two
üzerinize
prides,
güçlü kuvvetli
two,
kullarımızı
two
gönderdik.
conflicts will come upon you.
Bunlar
And in order
kendileri
to
arasında
combat
dolaşıp
these,
bıçak bıçak
I
savaşlarla
sent
aradılar.
two important
Yerine
people.
getirilmiş bir vaattir.
So
Sarımsak
they were
Yusuf.
looked for.
Bu Babil'de
These people were looked for.
Süleyman Aleyhisselam'ın tapınağı mabedini
So the
milattan önce 600
Suleiman
yılında
Temple
Kudüs'ü işgal ederek oradaki bütün
was
Yahudileri oradan çıkardılar.
occupied
Mabedi tahrip
600 before Christ. And the other surah,
Ondan sonra onlara karşı size
God
tekrar
says that after a while we gave you superiority and we increased your power. We increased the number of your men.
eğer iyilik ederseniz
And if you are
iyilik etmiş
good,
olursunuz.
then you will be good for yourself. If you are bad, you will be bad for yourself.
İkinci cezalandırma
And the second punishment,
torununuzu
when it is time,
daha önce girdikleri gibi
will
yine
come
mescide girsinler.
as enemies who will occupy the temple and who will
Doğru ki Rabbiniz
burn
size
everything.
ama eğer yine fesatçılığa dönerseniz
If you go back to being bad, then we will repeat this punishment. This is his order.
Bizans döneminde
So these two surahs
milattan sonra 70. yılda ikinci sefer işgal oldu.
show the occupation that happened after Christ in the year 70. And the Jewish people were removed by the Palestinian people.
Bir iki noktaya değinmek
I
istiyorum.
would like to emphasize a few points.
Hristiyan dünyası merak ediyorum.
I'm curious.
Kudüs'ün
The
İslam aleminin eline geçtiği 636 yılından sonra
After the year 636, the Christian world organized the crusaders, the crusade occupation.
1917'de
However,
Osmanlı'nın dağılmasının
in 1917, after the elimination of the Ottoman Empire, they did take that back. But why they didn't turn this into a Christianity place and they left it to Jewish people? This is an issue of curiosity. Why is it an issue of curiosity? There are 6 decisions taken within the United Nations of the Security Council, and the 39 decisions taken within the UN Security Council. And despite the 7 agreements under this Security Council, this decision was not applied. So meaning that Israel continued to continue its brutal actions and continuous discriminations. And unfortunately, we understand from this that the Christian world is supporting this.
ulusal devlet yasasında
The national state law that was enacted by Israel
paylaşmak istiyorum.
shows 6 interesting points. It says that the Israeli state is actually ethnical and religious state that represents the Israeli people.
Sadece Yahudilere ait.
The right to self-determination belongs to Israeli people, and Israel is the motherland of Israeli people. And when there is a problem in law, the Israeli Sharia will be based on, and the right to return belongs to the Israeli people, not to Palestinian people. That's what it says. I'm a soldier. I come from the military.
Askeri olarak düşündüğümüz zaman
When you think about this from the perspective of the military, and when you compare the two parties, you see that Palestine doesn't have a tank, doesn't have arms, doesn't have airplanes, doesn't have artillery or ships
ama İsrail'in
or armored vehicles. However, Israel has the artillery, the war airplanes, aircrafts, and war ships. And the bombs that come from these vehicles fall upon Palestine almost every day. So,
eğer bir zulmü durdurmak
if you want to stop brutality,
karşısında dengeleyecek gücü
then
korumak konumundayız.
you must put something against that power who is doing that brutality. If we are not able to do that, this brutality will continue.
Gerekçelerini
Today,
koyabiliriz.
we can, of course, document this, and we can talk about the law here. And we can also talk about the justified reasons. But if there is no power to stop that, and the Western world hasn't been doing that anyway, and they will not do that in the future, then
İslam dünyası
the Islamic world,
Filistin'in dışında Filistin için bir ordu
apart from the Palestine and within the Palestine, must create a military, an army. So if a bomb falls into Palestine, then there will be a bomb in Israel too. So when they understand this, they can only stop the brutality.
ekonomisine
On the
baktığımız
other
zaman
hand, when we look at the economy,
Filistin'in gayri safi milli hasılası
the GNI of Palestine is $14 billion, and Israel's is $373 billion. So it's 35 times higher. When we look at the per capita income, in Palestine, we see that this is
safi milli hasılası
the NGI for per capita is $3,000, while in Israel, per capita income is $42,000, meaning that it's 12 or 13 times higher. Export in Palestine, it's $1 billion, and in Israel, it's $61 billion. Import in Palestine is $5 billion, and in Israel is $66 billion. So, economically speaking, we're saying that they are totally ignored, isolated, and they are impoverished. So Palestine cannot even grow crops. So the Islamic world must help
İşbirliği Teşkilatı'nın
the
üyesi
Palestine.
Müslüman devletler bir fon
The Muslim states must create a fund,
fon kendi
and this fund
gelirlerine oranlı olmalı.
must be proportionate to their national income. And every month, certain amount must be sent to Palestine from this fund.
Orada yaşayan kahraman Filistinli
The heroes and heroines of Palestinians who live there,
Filistin yönetimi
and the Palestinian administration must receive this fund.
bugün İsrail
Today, Israel
Batı Şeria'yı aşağı yukarı %85'in daha doğrusu Filistin'in %85'ini kontrol edecek tarzda
is controlling almost 85% of Palestine.
bu söylediğim
In order to stop this, what I have mentioned before must be applied. Last but not least, I would like to emphasize this. The United Nations
egemen bir devlet olarak
must recognize Palestine
üye yapmalı.
as a hegemonous state.
İsrail'in işgal ettiği topraklardan ayrılması için
In order Israel to leave the occupied territories,
gücünü orada dengeleyecek bir
there must be a peace force
Müslüman devlet
that will balance out their power
Filistin halkının
and that would bring peace.
terk etmeye razı
we should, the
Birleşmiş
United
Milletler
Nations
gerçekten
must not
insanlık
accept the brutality
için
and the oppression of Israel if they are really after the international human rights.
diğer mevzuları konuşmacı arkadaşlarımız
The
gayet güzel
other
bir şekilde
subjects were mentioned, were touched upon by other speakers, and we are going to talk about these issues in a detailed manner in the upcoming panel. So I would like to end my words here. While doing so, I would like to once again thank the organizers, both of the NGOs and the participants and guests.
ve burada Filistin'in kahraman evlatlarını
I would like to once again
80 bin yetim çocuk var Filistin'de.
remember the heroes and heroines of Palestinians. In Palestine, there are 80,000 kids who have lost their parents to Israel's bombings. 80,000 kids in Israel. They have cousins, these are the orphans that we know. I hope that they will have a peaceful and beautiful life in the future. I also remember the martyrs of Palestine. And as the Turkish Republic and as the president of the president of the Turkish Republic also supports the cause of the heroes of the Palestine, and we hope that they can create a peaceful future. And I hope that you will have a fruitful conference today.